Hey everyone, welcome to Christina Speaks. I'm excited to have Julian here today for episode number 9, and we're going to learn about a local hip hop artist who has brought his sound from California and between here and there, and he's taken it back. And so welcome, Julian.
Hi, thank you.
So glad that you could be here. I know you're a busy guy.
I'm happy I could be here. No matter what, I was going to make sure that I was going to be able to be here.
Awesome. Well, thank you. So when I booked you for the podcast, you said Julian that is your new and evolved name. Can you tell me a little bit about where that came from?
That's my middle name, and it's my father's name, and it was the name of one of the uncles on his side, like way deep down. Basically, the reason that I wanted to use it is I wanted my music and my creation to be more personal to myself and for I don't even call them my fan base, my kin, more so my family. To kind of get a better look at myself and to see where I'm from and to know my history along with me. You know, I wanted it to be more personal and intimate.
And so you're known as a hip hop artist. Are you still continuing with the hip hop with the new name, or are you experimenting with different sounds? Or?
Actually, that's kind of why I changed it. You got me. I am experimenting with different sounds. I made this gigantic post about how my new music would be, I want to say adult themed, but the adult themed is just a weird word to say. It's more of just like, again, personal. Like when I was making rap music and hip hop before as my old moniker, it was just more having fun. And now it's just heartfelt adult music. Human music is what I call it, because it's kind of something everyone can relate to. But I've been playing instruments on tracks. I've been producing my own stuff. I've been attempting to sing, but it's a little bit hard. Just kind of all over the place.
And so what would you, if someone were to look you up, and I know that artists hate to be put in categories, but if they were to say, well, you know, I found this artist, Julian, he is blah, what would that sound be?
They would say hip hop right now, but I would hope by the time that I'm gone, there would be no category that they could put me in, you know. One of my idols is Prince, and the reason that I idolize him is because he was just, anybody of any background has a song by Prince that they love. So I was kind of just like, I want the same thing. I want to be able to make sure that I make albums with songs of all different types of genres on the album. And that's, like I said, right now it's hip hop, but it'll evolve.
Awesome. And so what got you into music? How long have you been interested in it?
It's funny, my dad just told me this story when I was on the way to the hospital. When my mother and father were on the way to the hospital to be born, my dad was playing this song called The Foundation by Exhibit, who's an old rapper from the 90s. And I think...
What do you mean old?
Old, hey, man. Old. No, I'm playing. Older, okay. I assume that the people watching me...
We refer to them as classic
legends.
Yes,
okay. Classic artist, legendary status. Anyway. Basically, he was playing this song called The Foundation. So I was bred for this. I was just made for this. I can recall the moment where music went from just this fun thing I was doing with friends. I was 14 and I fully realized... I'd always been writing. I was writing raps at like age 6 years old and stuff. But as I started getting older, I started realizing that writing music is a tool and a way to express yourself and put your soul into something. And so I've been at this since, I guess, I was just a thought in somebody's head.
Wow. So it's pretty much been a part of your life. You've mentioned your dad a couple times. So he was listening to hip hop, some good classic hip hop.
Good, excellent, classic West Coast hip hop. Yes.
On his way to meet you for the first time.
Yeah.
And
I like how you put that.
And so as you were growing up, were you and your dad listening to different types of music?
Yeah.
And that was kind of influencing you, or would you say it was more like it was just a part of your life and then you realized that it was more?
Well, more so I grew up around my grandparents as well. My parents had me very young. Like my dad was like 20. Like it's kind of crazy to think I'm the age my dad was when he had me. But I was really raised around my grandparents, and my grandparents have the craziest taste in music, and they would listen to everything. except for country, but that's a whole California thing. Anyway, so my grandparents were just like listening to, again, Prince, Tower of Power, basically everything under the sun, and just had record after record, CD after CD, cassette after cassette, and would play it with me in the back seat and everywhere. And then I would get, all of these classic non-hip-hop like inspirations. And then my dad would pick me up at the end of the day after he was done at work, and we'd be listening to, again, Exhibit and all these other West Coast classics, or just hip-hop classics, a lot of Wu-Tang, a lot of Outkast, and that was it. It was just, like I said, well, they raised me for this. I don't think I know how to do anything else, really.
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, that it goes that, far back to the day you were born, and then being influenced by those different types of music, having two different generations introducing you to music. That's pretty unique. I would say that's like the makings of having your own musical legacy. And so you've been performing since when?
Ninth grade. I did an open mic for the first time. I always remember like the moment someone put me on blast for music, and I at the time I hated it because I was so secretive with my music. I was in ninth grade in Spanish class, and I had this green notebook I would carry everywhere with me. Like everywhere I would go, that notebook was there, and I was always writing in it, writing songs and stuff. And this girl, I'll never forget her name. I'm going to get famous one day. Grace Brown was her name. And she goes, "Marcos, what are you writing?" And I was just like, "I write raps," like all nervous and shit. I was so nervous. I was just like a deer in headlights, like, "I write raps." And she goes, "Okay, cool. Can you say something for us?" And I was just, oh my God. And they were all like really depressing songs and stuff. I was that kid in the back of class, like writing depressing ass poetry. So I had to find the least depressing thing that I had. And I was just like, I'm going to go for it right now. You know what? Like, F it. What's going to happen? So I performed for my whole Spanish class, and they loved it. And I kept writing. And then that same year I did an open mic, and I crushed it. And I was nervous at first, but I crushed it. After that, I was just addicted. And once you start performing, it becomes just this high, when you're on stage and people have to do exactly what you say when you say it. It's a feeling of power.
So where are some of the places that you have performed?
I've performed at United Action for Youth in Iowa City. I performed at Vaudeville Muse, Woolies. I performed at Val Air Ballroom. That was a really fun show. I performed at Warren Morrow Latin Music Fest. I performed at 8035. I performed at G14 Music Fest out in Cumming, Iowa. That's about it, actually. Wow. I've been all over town. They welcomed me here, and shout out to Des Moines for that.
Very cool. So pretty much since ninth grade, and now you've graduated, you moved beyond high school, you've been performing all around Iowa, and your sound, when we first spoke about it before the Warren Morrow Latin Music Festival, you said something about, you have a little bit of East Coast, but it's a lot of others. And so how do you, how do you decide what beat you want, and how do you go about personalizing it?
All I do all day when I'm not working is just listen to music. So, I listen to a lot of, we'll say, Rick James, right? So if I'm listening to a song by Rick James, and I have multiple producers that I work with, if one of them sends me something and I'm dancing to something the same way I dance to a Rick James, or I dance to a Tower of Power, Earth, Wind & Fire, whatever it may be, something that makes me move, either something that makes me move mentally or something that makes me move physically, that's when I really decide what to do. It all just kind of clicks at first. It used to be weird to me that I got something so easily. I would I don't know how to quite explain it, but just instinct my bad, kicks in, and I just know what to do, and I know what I want to say, and I know exactly again, artists get inspiration from life, all artists do, but there's just some beats or rhythms that you hear and automatically your brain tells you what to do. It takes over. It like you become a different person. That's why when I write, I don't feel like my government. I feel like the artist's name is my name. I put myself in that mindset and I just go for it.
So having had other names, then how do you switch from your more I guess your original moniker to what has evolved into Julian?
When I was thinking of the name, the old name was Comandante. I realized that this was just me. Like, I was this facade after a while. I had become, when you build an image as an artist, you have to stay that image no matter where you're at. And if you weren't one of the people that I hang out on a daily basis, you only saw me as Comandante, or Coms as kids were calling me. And it was just kind of weird to see, you know? I had built that because of, I was named, my first name is Marcos. So in Mexico, there's a revolutionary named Subcomandante Marcos. That's who I was named after. And that's where I built the moniker from. At first, it was just this revolutionary way of rapping. I was rapping over, again, your old school classics that you like to refer to. And I was just paying homage to that. And then as I started evolving and wanting to make different sound, I realized, okay, I already built this image, and if I try and make anything else, nobody will listen. So I had to start all over again with something more personal. Like, I dropped this whole Julian thing with the promise that there is not going to be one signature sound, you know? Like, right now, I'm continuously crafting and creating everything I can to sound what I feel, you know, sound out what I'm feeling at the time. Before, it was just what was everyone else feeling. That whole Comandante thing was like, okay, what is a rapper like? And I didn't want to do that. I wanted to be a musician. I wanted to be a creative. I do much more than rap, and I love rapping. There's two things I can do. One of them is talk my ass off. The other one is rap my ass off. And that's braggadocious. That's the other thing about the whole hip-hop thing I hated, but I'll get into that. But yeah, basically I evolved Comandante to Julian to be a much more humble, much more down-to-earth, much more intimate, and close. Sorry, I got the hiccups. Close to his, not fan base again, kin. Not even persona, but just myself. I wanted to be myself with it.
So you mentioned like the evolution includes you creating music and playing instruments. What are some of the instruments that you're learning to play?
It was funny. I was just like listening to all this music with like old bass guitars in it, and then I was just like, I want to learn how to do that. And then I just went to Guitar Center, bought a bass, and then just started teaching myself how to play it. I started stringing guitar too. That one's really hard. I tried playing keyboard a little bit, or not tried, but I made a couple beats playing with keyboard and piano. Drums is something I've been trying to get back into. When I was really young, I used to be so fascinated with the drums, and now it's much harder than people make it seem. Yeah. When I was, I played trumpet from 4th grade through like 11th grade, and I've been trying to get back into that, but getting your hands on a trumpet is, like a good trumpet is really hard. Yeah. But just, I think that might be it. I'd be down to do so much more though. Saxophone, I want that nice little R&B sexy feel on there. I'd love that. I would like to do like clarinet stuff and flute stuff, and let's see. I would like crazy instruments. I want banjos and what's it called? The lute. I want lutes and stuff on my music.
Nice. So are you the type that, excuse me, you can hear a beat and then do you try and like reproduce it on these instruments, or do you have to like YouTube how to do it 5,000 times before you get it? What is your style?
It kind of depends. So far? Like, there's some instruments, like I said, that are easier than others. So like when I would hear a song on trumpet, like I would just immediately start doing the fingering. But like with new instruments like guitar and bass, those are the ones that I'll have to look up the tabs for and kind of just like see how it goes. Um, it's a lot harder than people make it seem. People think you can just pick up a guitar and do it, but it takes like day in and day out of work.
I admire whatever you can do, because I cannot read sheet music to save my life. I faked my way through band for a whole year in 6th grade by just like pretending. I chose the violin because I always thought I'd be good at violin. I don't know why. And I hated it. Within 2 days, I knew that I was never going to be a good violinist. So I would try and like leave my instrument on the school bus.
I accidentally left it at home. Yeah.
Well, I tried to leave it on the school bus because my mom was like, you have to practice every night. That's what the band teacher said.
Man.
And so I'd leave it on the school bus. Well, the school bus driver became friends with my mom, and she'd finish her route, and she brought it to my house in her personal vehicle. And I was like, God, I don't know how to get rid of this instrument. So I did it for a year. If you want to play violin on
my album, just let me know.
Oh, God, no, you don't want me to play anything on here. Then I tried the organ because somebody gave us an organ, and I learned how to play maybe one song on there. I don't even think it was a full song. And I was like, how do people do this? They kept trying. They would like mark the keys, and I could not make that connection between what my hands were supposed to do and what my eyes were seeing. To this day, I don't get it, and people have tried to explain it to me. So kudos to you that you can like go out there and try and teach yourself this. And yeah, I wouldn't say anything about that is easy.
Yeah.
And I admire anybody who can get it.
Kudos to those people who like, the thing that's hardest for me is like knowing that my hand could be over here doing this and my hand can be over here doing this. It's like just wrapping my mind around the concept of my hands doing two completely different things and my fingers. Like there's just those people who can do that, you know? They like look at a keyboard and then with one melody over here, they'll play a different melody over here. And I'm like, how does that not distract your brain ever?
Yeah.
You know, like how do you play that quick of piano and like one spot's over here playing the... I don't know.
So when you're writing, are you thinking about the melodies, or are you thinking about the lyrics first and the melody comes later, or is it vice versa?
What'll happen is I can't quite explain it. I look at it as kind of like filling a puzzle. So when you're writing music, it has to... I look at the lyrics as a different melody, more so. You know, I'll hear melodies and... instead of what can I do to make that better, I'll say what's missing. What has that, not, I don't want to say make it perfect. What will make that melody perfect? But this melody is incomplete. What can I do to play my part and kind of add something to it? Emotion and music are, you know, they're one and the same. You hear a song, you feel a certain way. And when I hear positive melodies, I think of stupid shit to say sometimes. I won't flex on anybody. I do it. So when I hear positive upbeat melodies, these positive upbeat thoughts come into my head and kind of just display themselves onto the track. When I hear sad, depressing melodies, I'm a very sad, depressing person. So sad, depressing things come out and get onto the track. Like I have this one song that I released off of an EP. It's called Make Me Normal. And when I was, I had, it's funny, my producer's ex-girlfriend laid down the chords for it on piano. So she played it. And when I was listening to those chords and that beat, I remember a breakdown that I had had with my depression. And I ran outside and it was bitter cold. And I don't know why I was doing this. And I was yelling at the sky to make me normal. I was begging. And immediately I had a flashback from that and it just connected. And I put I think, to be honest, it's my most heartfelt track that I have, that I've released to this day. But the thing is, not a lot of people listen to it because they wanted to hear me talk about stupid stuff. But that's a whole different talk for a whole different time. Anyway, but like I said, it was, it just all fit. My emotion from that moment and my emotion from when I heard that beat fit together. And it came together like a puzzle piece.
And so I'm not musically inclined, as I've explained. So I'm trying to so you're hearing a beat, you're feeling these emotions, it's bringing something to life in you, and then you take all of that and you turn it into a song, essentially, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's a lot going on.
Yeah, there is it's a big process. Like, it's crazy because sometimes I get songs done in, like, I wrote one song that, like, I really felt, if I feel a beat, a song will get done in like 45 minutes. But, like, sometimes I want to make sure everything goes right, and I'll rewrite a song, and it'll take me like a month to write, you know. But you're right, there is a lot going on with it.
And do you, like, when I write, I don't write songs, but I never feel like I'm done. Like, I can go back to a short story that I wrote 2 years ago and be like, oh, that's not done because I didn't do this or that. Like, I can edit and re-edit till that thing is like, I don't know. I just are you like that with your music, or do you feel like, nope, that's the right beat, those are the right lyrics, I felt what I wanted to, and I'm done and I'm moving on?
It all depends, because I mean, a big part of an artist's job is to hate your own art. You know, you hate your own art because you know, I could have done better. No matter what, you could craft the most perfect song, the most perfect article, the most perfect painting, whatever it may be. Yeah. Every artist I've ever met has hated their art in some way or another, and I'm no exception. So there's sometimes I'll re-listen to a song and I'll admire other people's parts. So, like, if I have one of my best friends has been engineering my stuff, I'll say, oh my God, he did a crazy job on that. Or I'll say, oh my God, the guy who made this beat did exceptional. But it's never like I can look at my own stuff and just be like, that's complete. You know, like, I always feel like there's something missing, or there's something I could have done different. But I mean, once you release your art, there's no looking back at it. You know, you can't be like, there, by the way, no, this is the real version. You have to be cool with whatever.
Do you find it easier to rewrite lyrics when you're feeling like something is incomplete, or to redo beats?
Oh, that's tough, actually. I would say lyrics, because if it's lyrics, I can just... I forgot who it was. There was an artist saying, if you can't write a full page about something, you shouldn't, be able to talk about it, write about it, create about it. So if that's what I do, I start off and I just write everything that I'm feeling about this topic that I'm about to dive into. And if I can't make something, then it's just trashed, or not trashed, but, goes into the archives. With a beat, if I go back to a beat, I can just, like, rhythm. Your sense of rhythm versus your conscience speaking to you are two different things. So I feel like your sense of rhythm is just more of like, if I can dance to that, like, my body is literally physically telling me, like, this is good. Versus I don't know if something's missing in my writing sometimes until I put it on a track and I'm like, trash that, it's garbage, I hate it, and I'm just...
Yeah, I can feel you on that. The times that I have seen my stuff in print, I'm like, oh, that's so bad. Like, yeah.
The worst part, it'll be dope too. That's the worst part.
Say, oh, no, I really enjoyed your writing. Yeah. And in my head, I'm like, I don't even know why I put that out there.
Yeah, for like, one of my songs that I have, like, I haven't told anyone, and this is going to be the perfect opportunity. I hate that shit. And it's my most viewed song. Like, everyone's like, dude, this song's so good. It's so amazing. I'm like, that shit is trash, man. Why do you like that? But everyone loves it. And everyone thinks you did an amazing job. But as an artist, it's like your kids. Like, if you have kids, like, again, I don't have kids, but from all the parents that I've talked to, like, people are always like, your kid does this and your kid does that, it's incredible. And then you're just like, they don't clean their shit at the house, like, there's always some flaw that you have with it. And it's just, that's it. You're just raising this art in order for you to hate it. Not hate, no, I'm not saying we hate our kids, but for you to hate your creation in some way or another. And that's just how it goes.
Yep, I get what you're saying. But I can also be very protective. Like, there's some stuff that I've written that I hope no one ever sees, and I'm proud of it, but it's just for me. And then there's other stuff where I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah,
anybody can do it and whatever.
Like, again, the more heartfelt tracks, like the ones that get the less views, and I'm always just like, this is perfect. I don't care if anybody sees this. Like, this is amazing. And then there's those songs that blow up and I'm just saying the dumbest shit. And I'm just like, oh, man, why is everyone viewing this? This was just a stupid studio session that I didn't even know I was going to record.
With so much going on today with, in our world, is that a lot of material, or do you try to keep it more personal and not really so much with what's happening with, our administration and our environment and people's rights being violated? Do you say, no, I'm not going to get into those things and I'm what affects me, or do you dabble in all of that?
I'm happy you mentioned that. I was raised by revolutionaries. I was like present in Berkeley to see, and in Oakland, in these revolutionary cities that were able to shape me with a good moral compass. With the things I see going on present day, with kids being locked up in internment camps, with people's rights being taken away, with people in power calling other people's countries shithole countries, like, I'm not just, like, if I have a voice, and I'm not just going to sit by and stand and, like, be like, okay, I'm going to avoid this topic. There should never, the thing is, like I said, I make human music. I want music that all people can feel and make their own, So I'm not exactly trying to, pander to everybody, but at the same time, I'm putting my emotions onto this stuff, and my emotions, like, my image, my writing, my beats, everything is reflected by what's going on present day, like, how about this? When there was this rapper recently, a brilliant MC who gave back to the community. Sadly, he was shot down in front of his own store that he released in his community. His name was Nipsey Hussle. Mm-hmm. He was a wonderful, wonderful man, and it was really brutal to see him die the way he died in public. And when that happened, I wrote so much about it. It wasn't even music at that point. It was just me writing exactly how I felt. And maybe I'll release it, one day when the timing is right. Or maybe I'll just cue a line or two in on it. But no matter what, my truths, I'll always make sure I put them into the world, whether it's in writing, whether it's in words, whether it's in podcasts, whether it's in dancing, whether it's in the way I dress. Like, I don't know, when one day you might see me wearing on TV wearing the Revolutionary Will Not Be Televised t-shirt. I can promise you that. First TV performance, I got it.
Nice.
Crop top that says.
A crop top, really.
I love crop tops. Just notice that too. I'm gonna always stick up for my people wearing crop tops. Shed your toxic masculinity. Men can wear crop tops. Okay, I'm sorry. I had to throw that in there.
It just boggles my mind that so many things. You're mentioning the 90s and your parents being influenced by that, by those musicians. All of those styles are coming back now.
Yeah.
Crop tops, and I'm seeing more boys in particular with the baggier jeans and overalls.
Chico makes a comeback, baby.
Oh,
Chico.
man, you'd bet. Come on,
Fat
man.
thighs are hot.
Cross color is going to be back, and
backwards pants and jerseys and shit. No, I was big on the thrift store and stuff too. Like, all my friends had put me onto that, so I was the only kid wearing like old school wrestling shirts, and I have like a pair of Guess jeans from the 90s and stuff. Like, I was huge because part of me, I'm gonna say some bad stuff. I hate my generation. I'm not gonna lie. Just some of the shit that they say and do and wear, and I'm just like, you guys are so stupid. Like, why don't you look towards the past? Like, it's so much better. But everyone hates me for it. But he's right though. You know what? Shout out to Thickness coming back. Be happy with you.
It's all coming back.
It's all coming back.
So it's a good thing you save those Guess jeans, because I'm sure that's the next bit,
Oh, just know one day my kids are going to be rocking all my own clothes. They're going to be, my dad left me the greatest closet ever.
That'll be your legacy then?
Yeah, I hope they're skinny like me. I'm not going to lie. If my kids are skinny like me, then they're going to have an amazing closet, because we got something coming. Kids are going to be models.
Well, so that kind of makes me think, okay, so you're going to have this big old closet that you're going to pass on to your kids. And at that point where you have kids who are maybe listening to your music and emulating your style, is that when you'll feel like you've made it, or do you have a goal or an image of yourself that like, when I get to blah, then I know that I have made an impact in music?
Musically, I don't know. Well, as a person, my family is everything to me. I don't know. It's kind of crazy how like there's this present day talk of how like musicians and people are like not the same thing, but they really are. It's this whole thing. But like as Marcos, I'll feel that if my family's happy, I've made it no matter what. You know, if my family, not even content with me, if my mom is smiling and my little brother is happy with his days and my dad's anxiety is a little, reeled back, I've made it. If my grandparents are happy with my decisions, I've made it. They don't have to support everyone. But if they're happy, as Julian, it's, again, braggadocious, but I want to be the best to ever do this. I don't care about Grammys. I don't care about sales. I just want people to realize that I gave it my absolute best, and I was the best me I could be, and maybe one day I do win a Grammy, and I look back at it, and I'll realize that everybody who helped along the way. If I can, I think actually that's my legacy as a musician. If I can give back to all the people major who have helped me in any type of way, that's how I'll know I've made it. If I can give $1 million to, I don't know, every person that has ever.
So when you make it super big and you're like world known, you'll come back to Des Moines and do
absolutely.
the Warren Marlette Music Festival.
Oh, no. I'm doing that every year. I thought you knew. I want to open every year. I don't even want a headline. I want all these other people. I want to be like, look, these people at this festival are tight. Y'all need to recognize.
So who would be your dream collaborator? Or do you have a list? Or
Is it dead or alive? Or can I just do live? Because
you could. How about both?
All right.
You could. I'm guessing Prince is up there.
Actually, I feel like if I were to do a Prince song, I would just ruin it. Like if Prince were on my list, like I feel like there's just some people. I don't hold a lot of people to perfection. He's one of them. Like there's not a lot of movies I think are perfect. There's a couple of them. There's not a lot of people I think are perfect. He's like the person that if I were to ever get on a song, I'd be like, dude, take my shit off that. Like this sounds a lot better with just you. Alive, I just like, this is just like a personal thing. Like I don't mean to, he'd probably agree, but Pharrell, like it's not saying I don't hold him in the same light. It's just Pharrell's music is so unorthodox and crazy and just widely known at the same time. I love that. I'd want Jodeci on a track. I would want Jodeci on, it would not sound the same at all, but I would want Jodeci on a track. I'd want all like I don't even listen to hip hop, to be honest. Like on my day to day, I listen to old 80s and 90s R&B. I listen to old 70s funk. I listen to old psychedelic rock. I listen to grunge music. So I'd want like all these people that are on my playlist right now. So I'd want Jodeci. I'd want D'Angelo. I wouldn't even want them on hooks. I want them on full. I'd want like me to be the feature on their stuff, but I could never inspire these people to make their own albums again. But yeah, Alive, Pharrell, D'Angelo, all of Jodeci, Bobby Brown. I would want Bobby Brown on a song. Keith Sweat. And then Dead, it would be like Big L. I would say just for shits and giggles, Cisco, just because his career's dead, but he's still alive.
I was going to say, he's not dead.
His career's dead, but he's still alive. I'm sorry, Cisco.
You want to revamp the thong song?
Yeah. Oh my God, I would love to revamp the thong song. That was my all-time. I did a show, and then I was like, I tweeted it. I was like, should I perform the thong song at the end? And so many people said yes. So then as soon as I got done, I was just talking to my crowd. It was my last show under Comandante. So I just grabbed the mic and I was just like, hold up. and I turned around and I put my MacBook on the thong song, and everyone just started dancing to it. And I was just telling the crowd how I loved them and all this stuff. I love the thong song. I'm telling you.
Well, he might be, maybe you can send him this podcast and be like, hey, dude, come on, let's do this together.
Please. I'm just joking about the career thing. I will play the thong song. I want Cisco to perform the thong song at my wedding while I'm walking down the aisle. I'm not going to lie.
I'm sure your mom would love that.
She would love it. Are you kidding me? She'd be dancing. She'd be in the back. That thong, the thong, thong, thong. You know what I'm talking about? I'd be wearing a crop top at my wedding. White crop top.
With a thong.
With the thong. Come on, man. Shed your toxic masculinity.
All right. Well, make sure you invite me to that wedding.
Oh, you're there. You're there front row. I'm going to need you to marry me and my wife or spouse or whatever. I don't care what we'll be called. I'm fully into women. I just want to let you guys know that. Ladies holler. I know. Anyway, so I want you to marry me and my wife, and I just want you to just give the most disappointed look of when I'm walking down with the thong song. Just this motherfucker right here. I can't believe him.
Funny. So, take us back a little bit to El Comandante. That was when I first heard of your music and looked you up on YouTube. I'm trying to remember how I even. Because I knew your parents, but I didn't even know that connection. And I don't even remember how, but I remember being at a meeting for the Warren Morrow Latin Music Festival, and we were going through YouTube and going through different artists, and it's really important for us to have local folks, and we had not had a hip hop artist, like a true hip hop artist, and that was something that we wanted. And I don't remember how your name and your video came up, and we just started watching some videos, and I was so geeked, oh my gosh, this is, talent right here in Des Moines, and, Latino to boot. And I'm sure that, the younger groups are going to follow. And so then you were playing 8035 because I actually heard about you the year before we booked you. And I went to the show, and I remember seeing, just all these little young, high school kids, all the stage, all the girls,
that.
Screaming. Again. And then your mom was there, and I was like, oh my God, now I made, the connection. I feel so dumb. That's your son. And, but I remember that when I was looking at your videos, and I was just thinking to myself, holy crap, these videos are really nice, high quality. The music was good. There were a lot of catchy beats. There were things that I knew that a live crowd would enjoy. How did you and at the time, I think your mom told me that you were pretty 17, young, 16, 17 when you made that video. How did you do that? How did you create this video and make it look so professional and get it out there at that age while you're going to school and doing everything else that a teenager does?
It's funny because school was the part, without school, I wouldn't have been able to make those videos. My parents wanted to send me to, I guess, the best possible suburban school, safest suburban school. So they sent me to Valley High School in West Des Moines. And there's a lot of backward stuff there, but I'm not going to talk about that. So I took this video production class, and I met my best friend now. His name is Dan.Visuals is his whole thing. And he was just playing some rap music. And it was weird because I was just in this class with all these suburban white kids, and I was just like, who the hell is playing that in here? And this kid raises his hand, and he goes, hey man, that's me. And I was just like, hey, what's up, man? And then we just started talking. He ended up being very good with production. And he was just like, yeah, I shoot videos. You want to do a video? And I said, all right, cool. So we started kicking it and talking. And we scheduled a video. And it just clicked, It just immediately clicked. I knew exactly. He put me onto the visual stuff that I wanted to be on, all the crazy ideas that I have visually, that I haven't even dropped yet because I want people to be so surprised for it. But he really showed me the way. And while I was going to school, again, I was taking that video production class. So all I would do is just shoot music videos and stuff, and then present them as my project. And my teacher taught me so much skill through that. And I don't know, I guess the rest is history. That video right there was just my job was just having fun and making it seem like that was my job, and his job was a lot more, but also me being present for that. Shout out to Valley High School, actually, and Mrs. DeVries. If she ever watches this one day when I'm famous, she really hooked it up. Like, I would not have the stuff I got right now. Like, that professional level, I was so happy with it. And, like, knowing that I actually put a little bit of work in on that, like, not compared to what he was doing, but I put some work in on that myself, like, came up with ideas for shots, illustrations on the video and stuff. Like, I did that. Just whenever a camera was near, I automatically knew what to do. I've always been, I'll just say an attention whore from the jump. So whenever a camera's around, I just immediately know how to make it look like I'm a show.
Yeah. So how many videos do you have out right now?
Actually, not too many. I got Underdog, Rock Bottom, Comms, Trophies. I think there's only like 4 or 5 videos out right now, but there's a lot more in tuck that I've, again, with this whole Julian thing, I want to just drop it all at once. You know, people are like, why don't you drop singles and this or that? And I'm like, hell no. I want you people to see like this crazy side, like slowly booting my crazy into the world versus just dropping it all at once. It's 2 different things, you know?
And so where does Comandante fit in that plan? I mean, it's, you know, it's immortalized on YouTube forever.
Yeah. Well, in a way, I think Comandante is dead. Like, I renamed that whole SoundCloud page The Ghost of Comandante, because you hear Comandante's echoes and you feel his memory, but at the same time, like, that person's gone. Like, I've died and been reborn, you know, as Julian. Julian is a phoenix, I guess, who has risen from Comandante's ashes. I'm not saying that I hate those memories at all. I'm not saying that I, like, want to completely forget them. Like, I'm extremely grateful for the love that I received under that moniker. I'm so happy with the shows that I performed at and, like, the love that I got and the friends that I've made through that. But it's just, like, as I turn into a young man, I'm not a little kid anymore, you know? And I don't want to be seen as a little kid, and I don't want... Essentially, I'm making that, like, again, that Bobby Brown breakout from New Edition and to more crazy themes. Like, that's me. Comandante is the boy that they were making sing and dance as a kid about, you know, Candy Girl, to me being a star and doing my prerogative thing. The dumbest way I could have put it. The most simple, dumbest way I could have put it. I think that's what I did.
Well, I'd still like to go back to your video, and maybe we'll do like some bonus bits on Facebook and have the video going, because I am really impressed with it, and it'll be interesting to see you know, how the evolution from that and what you were thinking at the time. I know some young people who are really into music who would really and maybe don't have the resources of Valley High behind them, who would want to know how that was made, and I think that would be an interesting kind of bonus to add. But before we get to that, are there any upcoming Des Moines, when I first moved here, and I don't know about when you were first starting to go to concerts, but there was very little that interested me. And just in the next 2 months, we're going to have Blackstreet here with Teddy Riley and Nelly and Boys to Men. We just had Café Tacuba. So what are some upcoming shows here in Des Moines that you're excited about?
There's a local group called UVT. Whatever they do, I'm always just like, they put on a really good show. Always excited to go to those. The whole Teddy Riley thing, he's like top producers all time for me. So that's gonna be cool. I don't know lately, actually. Like, I'm so happy to see Des Moines grow, but at the same time, like, those before, like when Drake came, and like nobody ever thought Drake was gonna come to Des Moines, Iowa, and like do the whole thing. Like, it kind of just wowed me and everyone else in the city, and I'm extremely happy for the growth. But at the same time, I miss those older shows that, like, when they would come, you're like, you're coming to Des Moines, you know? Like, I would say that I don't know. I'm gonna do a couple shows myself. I kind of want to not even drop anything yet. I want to give people a look at this new crazy thing and them to be like, what the hell is that? I want to see more. And then I'll just drop it all. Oh, there's I have this friend. Her name is Erica Benson, and she put on a showcase of just youth last year at the social club. I think she's since passed the torch because she's gone to college, and they're gonna redo the event. So I'll be happy to see that as well.
And are these like high school students?
Yeah, they're
that
like
are
high school
performing
students.
music or
Well,
all kinds of stuff?
All kinds of just youth. Basically, it's like high school kids performing and selling clothes that they've made and selling their art, and it's really cool. Last year they had it in the basement at the social club, and I performed. That was the last show that I was talking about where I was talking over the thong song. It was magic. It was an awesome thing to know that people whatever people in Des Moines do. Those are usually the shows I'm excited for. Now, am I going to go see Teddy Riley? Yeah. But I'll always be around for the local stuff.
Awesome. Well, I'd like for people to kind of get to know a little bit more of you outside of music. So what are 5 of your favorite things about Des Moines?
Only 5? Being from California, everyone is very... Not everyone, but there's a lot of hostile people out there, and even people from California are like, yeah, he's not wrong. So that sense of community that Iowa and Des Moines offer are something I've never seen before. Like going to the store and seeing people's cars unlocked, like that's crazy to me, knowing that you're just people leave like their kids in the car unlocked with the air on, car on, and I'm just like, what the hell? I love seeing that. It still surprises me. This is a weird one. Mm-hmm. I always say I hate it, but I love it. In California, we say soda. Everyone's saying pop. I don't know why. Again, it just reminds me of that like wholesome, that wholesome Iowa way. It's a weird thing. I did it for a couple of years. The event itself, I did not like the training, but the event itself, Ragbri, is awesome because you get people from all over the world that just kind of come to Iowa, and it's really fun to see them like interact with Iowans, and they see these small towns and they're like, you live here,
Right.
I guess it's like the size of my neighborhood. I'm gonna be that basic guy and say food, but not like the major food spots, like the low key spots, the hole in the wall spots that like you go and the seats are all messed up and they have like the weird little scratchy TV, because those places are the best.
Oh, of course. Which one of those is your favorite though? Do you have one or your go-to?
Ooh, there's a couple.
And I'm only asking because I like to go to those places, so I'm
know.
Curious if you have any that I haven't gone to yet.
Oh, I got one. It's not a spot. It's a truck. It's called Gorditas Rossi. And a family's friend, or not a family friend, my friend's family owns it. And to me, it is the best truck in town.
And where is it?
Damn it. I'll give you the location. I think it's off University. But it's good, and it's really good. I had a friend come from Chicago thinking, I'm not going to get no good Mexican food out here. And then he was there like 3 times a day, his whole visit. And then the last thing, I got a good one. My last thing I love about Des Moines and about Iowa is no matter what, they will never give up. Like, do you know how hard you have to try to make an Iowan mad? Like, genuinely mad? It's so hard. Like, they never give up on you. They never give up on their city. They never give up on anything. Their teams. They never give up on anything that they try. They will always put their full heart into it. And in California, a lot of people half-ass their stuff. Now, like, you have to work double hard to get out there to do something. Out here, everyone tries. Everyone makes an attempt. Everyone makes an effort. And I've never seen anything like that. And it's really admirable. And it's really inspiring, Like, I grew up lazy, so seeing all these... I did!
You don't sound lazy. You were producing... you're putting music out there at 14. Most kids at 14 are still, eating their boogers.
When I wasn't producing music, though, I was on the couch chilling. Like, I was like, oh, my God, after a long day of music, I got homework. No, I'm just going to go play some video games or some shit like that. That was me.
Well, can you tell us where we can meet Julian and get to know that music?
Yeah, I am on Twitter. I just changed my names. I did my name. It's MARCOSJFLORES. I kind of wanted, that's my Twitter handle, just at that. I wanted that to be my name. If you see Julian with a purple heart, that's me. Again, the Prince thing. My Instagram is Song Don Julian, so it's SONGDONJULIAN. Basically, I just post. I'm just gonna start posting a whole bunch of shit to that. I deleted Facebook, sadly. I'm gonna make an artist page, but just I can't do the whole people complaining thing on Facebook. I just got done with it. But and then I guess if you want to collaborate or if you want to just shoot the shit and become friends, I promise you I'm a likable asshole. I'm not just a regular asshole. My email is marcosjflores99@gmail.com. I might regret that in the future, but you know what? If it means that I get to collaborate with a whole bunch of new people, I'm not that mad at all.
So Cisco, if you're listening and you want to redo that thong song,
yes, you've got
his email address.
That is my personal email. Please. Oh, I'm gonna have to delete that in the future, but for right now, Cisco, if you're watching, Jodeci, if you're watching, D'Angelo, if you're watching, Pharrell, if you're watching, I don't know, Jim Carrey, if you're watching, I don't know, please hit me up.
And I know that you're moving back to California pretty soon. Are you going to have any performances in Iowa before you head out?
Yeah, I actually decided to extend my stay. I was supposed to move this month on the 27th. I decided right now it's September 3rd, so I'm moving in January, February to kind of a couple things. I've got like a couple job offers here. My videographer, photographer, he's the one moving with me to California. So we'll be out there. He kind of just got his stay extended too. I started like a more new relationship. Like there's just a whole bunch of stuff kind of going on right now that like really just all hit me at once, that I was like, if I go out to California with all this stuff unfinished, I won't really feel fulfilled, and starting a new life won't exactly be good if I still got stuff from the old one, you know.
Sure. So then when and where can we see you perform before then?
You know what? Actually, I'm just calling this right now. What's a great month? In November, I am going to assemble a group, and we are going to perform at Vaudeville Muse. I don't know what the tickets will be. I just created this right now, and I promise you I'm going to do this shit. There will be a show, Julian show, and I'm just going to be releasing... No, I'll release a ton of music, drop all of it. This is, again, just a plan that I'm doing right now because I just want to call this ASAP. So I'm going to make a show. I have a couple more shows that people want me to do that aren't kind of concrete yet. Like there's a Halloween one that they want me to perform at Norwalk. Should be a smaller one. I'll release the details. Again, if you follow my Twitter and all that, aside from me tweeting stupid lyrics and shit, you'll find updates and all that good stuff. If you don't have Twitter, again, you have my email. Just hit me up saying, yo, when are you performing? Is Cisco on the song? Do you want to be friends?
Sounds good, Julian. Well, thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it was fun. Thank you so much for coming here and spending the evening with us. Thank you, everyone, for watching Christina Speaks. Excited to be here with Julian, and please follow him so you know when and where to get his music. If you're not in Iowa, don't worry about it. That's why we have the internet, and you can still follow him along there. Thank you.
Thank you. And I love y'all.